It was a beautiful bright morning, and Peppa Pig jumped out of bed and smiled. "Today I'm going to be a princess," she said. She put on her favourite dress and her lovely yellow crown and admired herself in the mirror. "Well, I do look like a princess," she announced, "and I can dance like a princess too." And she began to dance around her bedroom. But oh dear, Peppa was very clumsy, and when she twirled around, she always fell over. Whoops! Oh dear, dearie me. Mummy Pig came in to see what all the noise was. "Oh my," she said, "you do look like a princess, but I'm afraid you can't dance like a princess." And she gave Peppa a big hug. "Don't worry, Peppa, I have a great idea. Why don't you have a lesson at the Princess's School of Dance? They will teach you how to dance properly." "Oh, Mummy," said Peppa, "I would love that so much. Can we go today?" she asked. "Of course," said Mummy Pig. "Why don't we go now?" And with that, the two of them climbed into Mummy Pig's car and off they went to the princess's school. "I'm so excited," said Peppa. "But Mummy, watch out for the muddy puddles. I don't want to get my new dress dirty." But Mummy Pig didn't see a big muddy puddle in the middle of the road. And splash! The muddy water sprayed in the air and covered Peppa and Mummy Pig with big splashes of mud. "Oh no," said Peppa as she got out of the car when they arrived. "Do you think they will notice the mud?" "I don't think it matters," said Mummy Pig. "You look even more beautiful covered in mud. Let's go in." Princess Aurora greeted Peppa at the door. "Hello, Peppa," she said. "Oh dear, I'm afraid you can't come into our school of dance looking like that. You're covered in mud. Princesses don't get muddy." Peppa was very sad. "Oh," she said. Just then, Princess Belle arrived. "Oh my," she said. "Not to worry. A little bit of magic will help that." "Of course," said Princess Aurora, and she waved her magic wand. Suddenly, Peppa was transformed into a beautiful princess. The mud was gone, and she looked fabulous. "Now," said Princess Aurora, "let's teach you to dance." And with Susie Sheep at the piano, Peppa learnt to dance. And soon she was twirling gracefully on the stage. "Could I have a go too?" asked Susie. "Of course," said Princess Belle. And the two friends danced gracefully together like two beautiful princesses. "Thank you," said Peppa. "I've had a wonderful day." It was a beautiful sunny day. Peppa and her friend Susie were playing outside in the sunshine. "I love your crown, Peppa," said Susie. "May I try it on and pretend that I'm a queen?" she asked. "Of course," answered Peppa. "It will fit you perfectly." She took her crown off and handed it to Susie to try on. Mummy Pig appeared and said to Peppa, "Be careful with your crown, Peppa. It's very precious. You don't want to break or lose it." "Don't worry, Mummy," said Peppa. "I'll look after it." And with that, Mummy Pig disappeared into the castle. Susie took the crown and placed it on her head. "Oh, I feel like a beautiful queen," she smiled. She didn't want to damage it, so she took it off and placed it on the grass beside her. Just then, Zoe, their friend, appeared. "Hello, Zoe," said the two girls. "Would you like to see my new toys?" Peppa asked. "Oh, yes, please," replied Zoe, and the three friends disappeared into the castle. Unfortunately, they'd forgotten about the crown, and it was left outside with no one looking after it. "Oh dear, now there's going to be trouble. Look who's coming round the corner. It's Tom Moss, and I'm afraid he's spotted the crown. I hope he won't steal it. Too late! It's already on his funnel. It's going to be difficult getting that back again. Peppa soon realised they'd forgotten about the crown, and the girls raced outside to retrieve it. But oh dear, all they saw was the back of Tom Moss disappearing into the forest. Oh my, what are we going to do? Sighed Peppa. Just then, who should be chuffing around the corner but Thomas? Hello Peppa, he said. Oh dear, you look sad. Whatever is the matter? He asked, and the three friends told Thomas all about it. Peppa, we must retrieve your crown. Hop on board, he requested. So Peppa climbed onto Thomas's truck and off they went. Be careful, Peppa. Peppa and Thomas eventually arrived near Tom Moss's lair. I can see him, shouted Peppa excitedly. He's hiding in that tunnel. Let's go after him. Oh, I'm not so sure now, replied Thomas. I've heard rumours that he has some scary monsters guarding him. We must be careful, or they could eat us alive. Peppa climbed off Thomas's truck. Come on, Thomas, she said. I don't believe in scary monsters. But just then, something jumped out in front of them. It's only Mike, she smiled. Suddenly, another monster appeared. Sally, she laughed. I haven't seen you in ages. Just then, a third monster appeared in front of them. Boo! Boo! Oh, Art, she smiled. Where have you been hiding these days? Thomas, these are my friends. They won't hurt anyone. You don't need to be afraid of them. Sally, she asked, would you be able to get my crown back for me? Tom Moss has stolen it and he's hiding in that tunnel. Oh, I'm sorry, Peppa, he answered. I'm a little afraid of Tom Moss. If I help you, he may prank me. Sorry. Oh dear, sighed Peppa. How am I ever going to get my crown back, she sobbed. Just then, there was a flash of twinkling magical lights, and there stood a very pretty fairy. I think you are in need of a little fairy magic, she smiled, and blew some fairy dust into the air. The dust swirled around Tom Moss, and then suddenly the crown vanished from his funnel and landed on Peppa's head. Oh, thank you so much, she said gratefully to the fairy, whose name was Iridessa. You're very welcome, she smiled. That Tom Moss is a very naughty engine. And then she vanished into thin air. Quick, Thomas, shouted Peppa, let's catch Tom Moss. And she climbed back onto Thomas's truck. Tom Moss saw what was happening and made a very speedy getaway. Once again, he was just too quick to be caught. What will he get up to next time? Peppa and George were very excited. They were going to have a ride on Grandpa Pig's boat. Grandpa Pig arrived and they climbed aboard. Don't forget your life jackets, said Grandpa Pig. So Peppa and George quickly put them on. Off we go, shouted Grandpa Pig, and they set sail. It was a beautiful day, and the boat was soon chugging along. Grandpa, said George, is this a pirate boat? Because you have a pirate flag at the back. Oh no, chuckled Grandpa Pig. Pirate boats don't exist anymore, only in fairy tales. So Grandpa, said Peppa, What's that ship coming towards us? Oh dear, said Grandpa Pig, I do believe that's Captain Hook on board. There could be trouble ahead. What a lovely boat, shouted Captain Hook. Give it to me, I want it for myself, and if you don't hand it over, I'm going to fire my cannon at you. Oh dear, repeated Grandpa Pig. How are we going to get out of this mess? Suddenly, a fairy appeared on the boat. It's Tinker Bell, shouted George. I see you're in a spot of bother, she said. I know just the person who can help. And with that, she disappeared. In a blink of an eye, Jake appeared. Don't worry, I'll sort him out, said Jake, and he jumped aboard the pirate ship. That's enough bad behaviour for today, he shouted at Captain Hook. I'm going to teach you a lesson. Oh, no, you won't, said Captain Hook. But Jake was already behind him and pushed him into the water. We won't see him for a while, smiled Jake to Peppa, George and Grandpa Pig. Oh, thank you so much for saving us, cried Peppa. No problem, said Jake and gave them a wave goodbye. Just then, Tinker Bell reappeared. Peppa, how would you like to fly? She asked. Oh, yes, please, said Peppa. Can I take off my life jacket? It's a bit heavy. Of course, smiled Tinker Bell. It's perfectly safe. And she sprinkled some fairy dust over Peppa. Soon, Peppa was whirling and twirling in the sky. Whee! This is so much fun, she cried. Peppa, said Grandpa Pig, I think it's time for us to go home now. We've had a very eventful day. Okay, sighed Peppa. And she put on her life jacket again. Oh, said Peppa as she sat up in bed. Was that a dream I had? Or did I really fly and see Captain Hook and Tinker Bell? She stared out of her window. Perhaps I'll never know. was another glorious morning. Peppa Pig was going to the new dance school on the other side of the town. Mummy Pig was driving and they had arranged to pick up Dora on the way. Dora was staying at Minnie Mouse's house and Peppa couldn't wait to see her again. "I haven't seen Dora in ages. We are going to have so much fun," she said to Mummy Pig. Soon they arrived at Minnie's house. Peppa climbed out of the car and rang the doorbell. "Hello, Peppa," smiled Minnie. "Dora is very excited about trying out the new dance school." Dora appeared at the door and thanked Minnie for letting her stay. "You're very welcome," she said, and waved the two girls goodbye. Once they were safely in the car, Mummy Pig continued the journey. "The building is a little smaller than I had imagined," said Mummy Pig to Peppa. "Don't worry, it's probably a lot larger when you get inside," said Dora positively. Once everyone had entered, it was indeed bigger than it had appeared outside. Peppa's friend Susie was already there, sitting at the piano. "Hello, Susie," said Peppa and Dora together. "This is nice. Susie's going to play some music while you dance," smiled Mummy Pig, and she sat down to watch. Susie started to play while Peppa and Dora began dancing. "This is so much fun," smiled Dora excitedly. "But I may have to sit down soon. My feet are starting to ache." "Let's have a break," said Peppa. "I'll make us some nice cold drink," said Susie. But as she got up, she slipped and knocked against the piano, which toppled over with a loud crash. "Oh dear!" exclaimed Susie. "I hope I haven't broken it." "Are you okay, Susie?" asked Peppa, quite concerned. "Yes, I'm fine," she answered, just a little embarrassed. "Shall we try to lift the piano back?" asked Peppa. So they pulled with all their might, but the piano was too heavy to lift. "I don't think we'll be able to move it," said Mummy Pig. "We could call Grandad Dog to help. He has a winch on his truck." So she called Grandad Dog. "I'll come over right away," he answered. And climbed into his breakdown truck. Very soon he arrived at the dance school. He went inside to take a look. He muttered, "These pianos look small, but they are extremely heavy. I'll prepare the truck." And he jumped into his truck and positioned the winch over the piano. The rope descended and the hook was attached. With an almighty pull, the piano was lifted back into its original position. The three girls cheered and Mummy Pig thanked Grandad Dog. Luckily, there wasn't a mark on the piano, and Susie went back to sit on the stool. She started playing the piano just to make sure, and it was fine. Dora and Peppa then started dancing again. "Well, that was an interesting morning," she smiled, and they all laughed with a touch of relief.
The fair was in town on Sodor and everyone was having fun. James, on the other hand, was busy collecting sheep. Farmer McColl had a lovely new pen for them and James was moving them to it. They filed on one by one and off they went. On the way, they ran into Peppa Pig. "Hi James," she said. "I'm meeting Pocoyo and Ellie at the fair. Please could I have a lift?" "Of course you can," replied James. So Peppa climbed aboard. When they arrived, Peppa greeted Pocoyo and Ellie, but while James stopped, the sheep escaped. "Oh no," said Peppa, "the sheep have gone." They ran all over the fair. One sheep even stole George's ice cream. Peppa chased this sheep back into the truck. "Well done, Peppa," said James. "Just 5 more sheep to find." Ellie then chased another 2. Then Masha and the bear chased the 2 on the big wheel. "How many sheep have we got?" asked Peppa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. "Oh no, we're missing one," said Peppa. "There it is," noticed Pocoyo. He walked over to the end of the slide and waited. chased it into the truck. "Thank you everyone," said James, and he rushed off. He arrived at the new pen and the sheep jumped off. They loved it. James then headed back to his shed. It has been a long day.
It was a lovely sunny morning. Peppa Pig and her friend Hello Kitty decided they would like to play in the park on such a beautiful day. James arrived outside their door and both the girls climbed on board. "Let's go to the slide first," said Kitty excitedly. "It's my favourite." "OK," replied James, and he dropped them off just by it. "Thank you, James," smiled Peppa as they climbed off the train. "You're very welcome," answered James as he steamed off. "Hello, Pocoyo," smiled Peppa when she saw who was standing there. "Are you here with your friends?" she asked. "Yes," smiled Pocoyo. Lula, Pocoyo's pet dog, came over to see who had appeared in the park. "Hello, Lula," said Peppa happily. "You are such a good dog," and she went over to stroke Lula's head. "Kitty," she smiled, "you haven't met Lula before. She's very friendly," and she turned around to introduce her friend. But Kitty had vanished. "Kitty," she shouted, "where are you?" But there was no answer. "She must have been frightened by Lula and gone to hide. We must find her," said Peppa a little worryingly. Pato helped by searching on the roundabout. "Have you found her?" asked Peppa. "No, she's not here," answered Pato. Ellie began to look by the swings. "Is she here?" "No, I can't see her," replied Ellie. "Oh dear, where can she be?" sighed Peppa. Just then, Lula began to bark excitedly. "I think Lula's found something," shouted Pocoyo, and they all turned to look. "No, she's just found a bone," said Pato disappointingly. Pocoyo turned around to think, and his eyes caught a glimpse of something high up in the tree. "Help!" He could just hear a very quiet voice trying to shout. "It's Kitty!" he exclaimed, and everyone turned around to look. "Oh, thank goodness," said Peppa. "We found her. Let's help her to get down." So Pocoyo and Peppa climbed up to the treehouse. "Oh no," sighed Peppa. "She's too high. We can't reach her." "I'm so sorry," said Kitty. "I was frightened of Lula and so I hid up here. But now I can't get down." "Don't worry," shouted Ellie and Pato from down below. "We'll fetch a ladder." And off they went to search for a ladder. It didn't take them long to find one and they soon returned. The ladder was pushed up the treehouse and Peppa positioned it by the tree. "I'll go up," she said to Pocoyo, and she started to climb. Very soon, Kitty and Peppa were able to climb back down to safety. "It's a good idea to be wary of dogs you don't know, especially if you're a cat," smiled Peppa to Kitty. The three of them climbed down. "But you can come and meet Lula. She's very gentle." Kitty cautiously went over to Lula. "You're right, she is gentle," smiled Kitty. And from that day on, the two of them became the best of friends.
please. Cowabunga! Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum.
Bye.
yum.